Frooglesim videos are powered by Jetline Systems.
Hello YouTube, this is Frugal and this is the Frooglesim news for today, Sunday, October the 14th. First up, FlyInside Flight Simulator has entered open beta. Now for years I've heard some of the more vocal members of our community lament the fact that we don't have a, in quotes, new simulator. Well, now you do, so go support it. Dan Church, the developer behind the amazing FlyInside virtual reality mod for FSX, Prepared and X-Plane, this weekend put his brand new simulator, FlyInside Flight Simulator, into open beta. The sim will actually run just fine on a monitor, but given FlyInside's heritage, it was of course built from the ground up as a virtual reality sim. And that makes perfect sense. It doesn't matter how much time, effort, and cash you put into building the ultimate home cockpit, nothing can compare to sitting in and working in the real thing. And that's the whole point of virtual reality. The new sim is of course 64-bit and designed for multi-core systems, pretty much any current processor. It ships with 10 built-in aircraft supplied by TFDI and Milviz, including the TFDI 717 and 3 helicopters from Milviz, among others, with more to come soon. Now in terms of scenery and visuals, bear in mind that this is a sim that was designed to run in VR first, not as an afterthought. So for that reason, it's been developed to maintain at least 90 frames per second, that's 90, with complex weather, terrain and autogen. The scenery itself is actually built from a number of sources, including auto imagery, to make it as real as possible. Now you can check out the sim for yourself for free at the link provided in the show notes below. If you like it, or if you just want to support Dan and help him build the next generation of flight sim, it's going to set you back just $32. Now, as I said at the start of this piece, the community have been clamoring for a hardcore focused sim built on new technology for years. So I believe, as do others I've spoken with, that it's time to put up or shut up and support this. It's still early days for the platform, but with our support, I believe this could well become something very special indeed. Do check out flyinside-fsx.com/home/sim, linked in the show notes below for more information. Next up, the Mig29 Fulcrum for DCS World. The Mig29 from the DCS expansion Flaming Cliffs has been updated and released as a standalone product. If you already own Flaming Cliffs, you get the new version of the Fulcrum for free as a free update. Now the biggest change to the Fulcrum is the addition of PFM, or the Professional Flight Model. This is the highest level of flight model fidelity for aircraft in DCS World and delivers, in Ego Dynamics' words, unmatched flight physics. In fact, the flight model was actually developed in cooperation with a former pilot of the Mig29 and then validated by him as well. Now in terms of systems, the Fulcrum is one of DCS World's reduced complexity aircraft. That is to say that while you do get a full 6 degrees of freedom cockpit with track IR and virtual reality, the cockpit is not interactive. Instead, you use the keyboard and joystick mappings to interact with systems, and as a result, some of the complexity of working with them is removed. Under the covers though, they are extremely complex and realistic. The Mig29 Fulcrum for DCS World is available right now if you don't already have Flaming Cliffs for $14.99 from the digitalcombatsimulator.com link in the show notes below. Next up, Orbx TrueEarth Great Britain South has released. Now I previewed this last week, but Orbx's TrueEarth Great Britain South for X-Plane is now available. The video you're watching as before is from my good friend Thomas Rasmussen and it's linked in the show notes below. Now this is actually a pretty big deal because while Orbx have been steadily pushing out airports for X-Plane for a little while now, this is the first regional scenery pack we've seen for X-Plane from Orbx. It's the first of 3 products that will cover the entirety of Great Britain in X-Plane. TrueEarth GB South weighs in at a staggering 26 gigabyte download with a 2-hour conversion process once it's downloaded to get everything expanded and then installed into the sim itself. The package covers 42,000 square miles of scenery and is built from a mix of ortho imagery as well as new custom autogen system. The ortho imagery is also all color corrected, so it looks perfect and gets rid of any jarring transitions between tiles. The autogen system adds literally millions of regionally themed buildings and houses, along with millions of accurate trees, all at the right heights and elevations throughout the entire scenery. And the scenery also features tons of hand-placed landmarks and key points of interest. Orbx TrueEarth Great Britain South will cost you $39, which is actually pretty reasonable, and is available from the orbxdirect.com link in the show notes below. Finally this week, Aeroplane Heaven have previewed the BoxCar. Aeroplane Heaven have published previews and details of their new FSX and prepared aircraft, the Fairchild C119 Flying Boxcar. Now, this is an aircraft that first flew in 1947 and was then used extensively in the Korean conflict as a transport and parachute dropship. It was even modified into the Shadow and Stinger gunship variants. Now, from the screenshots published by Aeroplane Heaven on Facebook, it looks like this is going to feature animated troop drops as well as cargo drops, as well as the usual high level of visual detail that we've come to expect from Aeroplane Heaven. No news on a release date or a price. I do, however, expect this to be published by Just Flight. More news and a price and a release date as soon as I have it. That's it for this week's news show. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Sunday to watch this. If I did miss something critical, do leave me a note in the comments section below. I'll take a look and see if I should include it in next week's show. Until then, though, my name is Frugal. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon.